Back to another video. I'm going to be doing a really quick video on basically everything you need to be doing because I get so many questions on the daily on what's the best way to make Raxs. Currently, there's a lot of different ways to make Raxs on the Real Sports app. The newest way is what they did with NBA, where they let you do this daily draft. As you can see, they actually left basically how you make Raxs. So pro members obviously make so much more. They're making pro so good right now, and I have pro. I'm gonna have to rebuy it soon, but if you're gonna get pro, make sure to get the 1 year version. Do not get the monthly. If you spend I think it's 4 months, if you do the monthly plan, I think 4 months is what the year plan costs. Don't do it, because even if you let's say only do it for 2 months or whatever, I mean, dude, you may as well just get the year plan at that point. It's like $40. I know some of you guys don't want to spend that much, but I've seen a lot of you guys just buying it for a month, and it's just bro, just buy the year plan. It's not worth, no offense, it's just not worth at all buying the monthly plan. But as you can see, they did this draft thing. If you stay up to date on NBA, this is kind of my draft for today. I got Paletti up there, I got Sabonis, I got Tatum, because Tatum always goes off, Harden, Kyrie. I don't think Wemby's playing today, or LeBron, AD, so you got to go with those guys. But it shows right here how the Raxs work. So first place gets 100, second 95, and then 55 for 10th, and then 25 for the top 10%. So top 50%, top 20, top 10%, you should be able to get 10 Raxs every day if you watch NBA pretty consistently. I mean, that adds up pretty quickly, I'd say, over time. I mean, this is actually a good change. This is going to make it a lot more easy for people to make Raxs, and especially with UFC and stuff like that, and how some of you guys aren't going to get pro, and that's completely fine. If you don't get pro, this will make it so if you grind on this app in a week, you will be able to afford one player card. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it used to be way more tedious. And now if you just get top 10%, 7 days in a row, that's 70 Raxs. Let's say you're doing all your karma, that's going to get you some 5 Raxs here, 5 Raxs there. Potentially you go up 20,000 karma in a span of I don't know, I think you could go up 36,000 karma in a month. I used to do that pretty frequently. I just don't do my picks as much anymore. But if we're just talking about that, yeah, you should be able to do it. And when I talk about the UFC method, if we go over here to UFC, I put in my picks in the group chat. I put picks in here weekly of when UFC events. UFC is not every weekend, but next year they're going to have it almost every weekend. And it's really good, especially if you're a pro member. You can make 150 Raxs per fight, and that's the main card. So main card, there's 6 to 5 fights. You can make 150 each fight. So you can make 1,000 almost, and you can make over 1,000 with UFC, because they do have it. It's a lot easier to make Raxs freely. Even if you don't have pro on UFC, you can make 10 Raxs per fight. All you got to do is go 4 for 4 and view it live. Bet max karma. And we do really good with our picks. As you can see, we won here. Peter Yan versus Diverson Figueiredo, two really good bantamweight fighters if you're trying to get into the UFC. This also helps you. Let's say you're someone who doesn't watch UFC. You're going to learn a lot about it, and it's going to also make you want to watch the fights. And UFC is probably a top 2 sport in my opinion. I used to never watch UFC starting until this year. I started with the UFC 299, Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera. Amazing fight, guys. That fight card was insane. We had Gilbert Burns get KO'd by Jack Della Maddalena. We had Michael Venom Page throwing spinning back fist, elbows, hitting Kevin Holland. It was just such a good fight night. But that's when they first added UFC actually no, that's when they added UFC cards. I don't know if they had UFC already at that point, but basically how the thing works is you can make 10 Raxs plus another 150 if you have pro. Just if you go 4 for 4 on your picks. So right here, we did not go 4 for 4. We went we went 3 for 4. And even then, sometimes for this example, since no one really went CH right here, and everyone went NT for takedowns, even then, I probably would have, if I live viewed it, it gives you a plus 10 karma for that match, and that makes the biggest difference. No one watched this card because it was at like 3 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday and everyone was trying to sleep, so I would have had a lot more ranked wins. If you go over here to ranked games, you'll see I should have like 130. There's just times I haven't been able to live view it because I'm sleeping or I have other things I have to do, and a lot of these are first place. If you go down here, you'll see almost all these are first place from UFC that we've been doing, and I really got into it 6 months ago, and that's almost all my ranked games are almost all, and I mean all of them are UFC. There are some people that I have talked to, and the best way they make racks is they would go over here to potentially college football, right? And for example, a lot of college football games, if they're not ranked games, I think, they don't let you do like in-game polls. In-game polls make it way harder to go like 3 for 4, 4 for 4. And then also, this is kind of the method if you're really poor, like let's say you don't have any racks and you want to make daily racks and you don't have, pro or anything, this is a great way to do it. So for example, I would go bet max karma on 2 of these polls. If you get both of these right, and then you pick someone that's, if you don't know, earn more karma for less popular picks. This is someone for a touchdown. I will just go, let's say, you could go look at like Anthony Torres down here. This guy has 7 touchdowns. It's pretty far down the list. There's a chance he scores a touchdown. That's a good way. If this all hits, I'm guaranteed to get a ranked game, and I will get 10 racks. And I could potentially get more because I'm a real pro member. I don't really try this out too much because I just don't have the time for it. But for you guys, like let's say you're at school, you have study hall or whatever, and you just want to do this here and there, it's pretty good. And then another method to make racks right now, I would be saying, is probably college football players. I mean, a lot of you guys, if you're really poor, you can't afford these. But if you're someone who can do the method where you basically buy the player after, so like, for example, Devin Neal, after his game was done, he made 133 racks. You would have bought the car for 200 racks if it was one of your first 10. If it was after that, I think it still would have been like it would have been 276 divided by 2 for the 10 to 50 players. And then after that, it's just what they made last year. And I didn't buy Devin Neal. I only have 96 cards right now. The max you can go to is 100. And I'm saving those last 4 for college football playoff because there will be people that will go crazy in the college football playoff. And I'm going to be doing specifically like probably saving for the semifinals, and then probably 2 for the first round and then 2 for the semifinals potentially. And I have a lot of guys who were going to be in the college football playoff anyways because I already bought them like when the year started. Taj Brooks was a guy I told everyone to buy when the year started, and look at this guy. He's went insane all year. I was, 543rd person to buy him, and that's pretty quick. Ollie Gordon, comeback. DJ Giddens was a guy I told everyone to buy early in the year. Look at this. I bought him at 200. That doesn't seem like, I was there very early, but that really is pretty early, though, for this app, because when you're trying to buy all these people, like, just look how much racks I have. And, I had, like, 14,000 this morning. And I know that seems like overkill, right? But I can explain how you can get there in probably about a 6-month span. So something I would do is I would be doing the college football playoff method and bowl game method, where I would almost save before bowl games. I think those are December, though those are not going to be bowl games. Those are going to be conference championship games. People that are in the conference championship for the Big Ten, they're all guaranteed to make it. Basically, the top 4 Big Ten teams are going to make it to the college football playoff right now because they all have 1 loss or are undefeated. And SEC is just eating itself alive. But what I'm trying to explain is if I go over here to college football and I go to 2023, let me go to 2023. 2023, guys. Okay, if I go here, I'm going to be showing you guys Barryon Brown. This guy made 311 racks in 1 game in a bowl game last year. In a bowl game. So I think bowl games are going to start kind of around December 20th, if I'm not mistaken. View player. Now, he's been pretty mid this year. I won't even lie. He had an insane bowl game last year. It's right here. 3 touchdowns on 126 yards and 3 receptions. Made a 311 racks. As you can see, I ended up buying him for 200. He would have cost 150 if it would have been this year, just because of the fact if you So I would say make sure to have, this is my personal opinion, you need to have 10 cards, 10 college football cards bought before bowl games start, which is in about, at the time of recording this, in about 3 weeks. So you need to start buying guys. I'd buy Ashton Genty if you haven't had him already. I would buy probably is it James Jones? Yeah, from Oregon. Dylan Gabriel from Oregon. Tej Johnson from Oregon. Those are 3 guys I'd buy. Quinshawn Judkins from Ohio State. I would buy Jeremiah Smith. I would buy Emeka Buka and Will Howard, all from Ohio State. Even maybe Travion Henderson. Those guys. Notre Dame. Riley Leonard is potentially, Notre Dame's going to make it. They're probably going to be the 5th seed, so they'll play the Big 12 champion, or they will play they'll play the Mountain West champion, which will either be Boise State, UNLV, Colorado, Arizona State, or BYU. Those are the teams, and then maybe Iowa State if they can somehow pull off some amazing, crazy stuff and other teams lose. Notre Dame should kill them in a landslide. Any of those teams, Notre Dame. I know they lost to Northern Illinois, but dude, Notre Dame after that game just locked in, and they're so good. It's ridiculous how good Notre Dame is, and people just hate on them for that one loss. If you would have looked here, this is some of the guys. Riley Leonard only 3.2, but remember, so this is 22 Raxs. He would have made 60 if this was a bowl game. Love over here, he had a 7.2 day. He would have made about 240 Raxs if this was a bowl game. And he didn't even play the 4th quarter. This guy's actually been really good all year. As you can see, 850 yards. He's been going off kind of towards the end of the season, so you love to see that. That's a guy you could potentially look to buy. And same thing for Price over here. Price gets a lot of carries too. He's pretty good. I would say there's a pretty good chance you're going to be buying some guys from Notre Dame in the college football playoff. And then that's how bowl games work. So there's a lot of players who will never touch the field who will play in bowl games this year, especially for teams like Ole Miss, Alabama, because those teams are probably not going to make the college football playoff now. One of them could make it because they have 3 losses. It's really, really technical here. A team that could make it right now is Clemson, SMU, and actually Miami, because of those Ole Miss, A&M, and Bama all losing yesterday, and they all have 3 losses, except I think A&M has 2 losses now. However, it works if I go over here to standings. If we go to SEC, A&M has 2. No, they have 3 losses. Yeah, so if they don't win the championship game, they have to beat Texas and then play Georgia. That's the only way they can get in. I think Georgia is 100% in now. Georgia's a team, also you can look at players, if you don't have Carson Beck, yeah, buy Carson Beck. He's going to be in the college football playoff. And then not Trevor Etienne, but their other really good running back, where's he? Nate Frazier. I think that's it. Yeah, Nate Frazier's been going off. Etienne, he's pretty good too, but I like Nate Frazier a lot more. Yeah, those teams, I think Texas gets in no matter what at this point, unless they lose to A&M. And then even then, I think they'll still probably get in as a 2-loss team. A&M's going to probably not beat Texas, and even if they go to the championship game, they have to win that, so they have to win 2 games, and they have to go, just 100% and win, and it's really hard to say. But what I'm just basically saying is get to 10 players before bowl games. That way, a lot of these guys are only going to cost you 150 Raxs, especially in the bowl games where it's you'll have Iowa play some team from the SEC like Ole Miss. Ole Miss is probably not going to have Jackson Dart, Trey Harris, Henry Parrish, any really good player. They're just all probably going to sit out of that game most likely because they're going to go to the NFL and they're not going to want to risk injury. That happened last year. And you're probably going to have, this is what happened last year. Miller Moss in a bowl game went nuclear. You're just going to have Seth Hennigan went nuclear. You're going to have guys like that go nuclear in these bowl games. And especially when it's high-flying offenses against each other and against bad defenses, you're going to have guys making 250, 300 Raxs, and they're only going to cost you 150 Raxs. So what you do is after the game, or even if you see them popping off first quarter, let's say they already had 100 Raxs and this game's close or whatever, you may as well go buy them because if it's like a running back, quarterback, whatever, wide receiver even, and they just keep playing good, you're going to get the card holder racks, which is basically where as the people keep buying the card and you already bought them, you're going to gain racks, like 10 racks here and there, and because it gets like, there's like plethrums or like milestones or whatever. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically as people buy the card and it gets to a certain amount of card holders, you will get free racks from it, and it's pretty great. That's how people with Real Pro can just buy so many cards in the beginning, because if they already saved up all these racks, and then when everyone comes and buys all the cards after them, they get like an extra 30 racks off basically of each card they bought, and it's just a great way to make racks. Okay, that's kind of how bowl games works. If you want to join the group chat, make sure to just search my name up on members mode, Copious Highlights. You just search up Copious Highlights. Same thing as my YouTube channel. Same thing as my TikTok. Please go follow my TikTok and like and repost all my videos whenever you see them on the page, or comment on one of my videos saying from YouTube or whatever, and I will follow you back, and I will be in your friends list, and then you can see my videos there. Just repost them whenever you see them. It helps me out. I make like $100 to $300 a week on TikTok. I don't make any money off YouTube, so that's something that helps me out. And then basically once you you look up my account on the Real app, you see this thing where it says about Copious Investments. Under socials, it says group. You just click the group thing. It will let you join. And don't listen to certain people in this group chat, in the sense they try to, no offense to, I'm going to call out one of my members who's a really big fan, and he'll probably watch this video, Dallas all the way. He was giving some bad advice on how bowl games work earlier, and I think I tried to explain it to him in messages, but he didn't understand what I meant, I think, and he didn't completely understand what bowl games were. Bowl games are teams that have 6 wins. They don't have to make the college football playoff. They will get invited to a bowl game, like the Peach Bowl or something like that. Peach Bowl may be a college football game this year, but like the Holiday Bowl and stuff. And basically, they will play another team with 6 or more wins that did not make the college football playoff, and those racks from that game will be boosted by, I think, a 2.5 multiplier, maybe 2x, but I think it's 2.5, and that's a really good way to make racks, is by those games. Everyone made so many racks last year off of that, and that's really, for me, where I got a lot of my racks. Another way you got to be looking at for Raxs is NBA. Eventually we will be getting to the All-Star break. Currently you're looking at teams having played about 20 games. I think once we get to like 40 games in, maybe less than that, there's All-Star break, All-Star game. There will be guys who will make over 100 racks. Same thing for NHL. If I go to NHL over here, I don't know how many games are in an NHL season. I really don't, but I do know last year there was like an insane amount of guys who made over 100 racks. Like I think it was like 20 guys made 100 racks each, and some made about 200. And that's a really good way to make racks, is just off that. If I'm looking through here to see if there's like a big, like a little bit of a break built in, because I know it's probably in February, I'm guessing, or March, but yeah, the All-Star break, it's okay. So did I just see a big gap? So it's probably going to be in between the February 9th and February 22nd. There should be a All-Star game, I believe, in between there. And dude, they play 4 games, they make 4 teams, right? And then it's like a little bit of a tournament. They actually take this stuff seriously. They had like Tate McRae as a team captain last year, and there's like a guy who made like 250 racks, and I bought every single one of them off hockey mid-season. I made so much racks. It's really good, and that's something I'm gonna, like, at the time, make sure to let everyone know in my group chat on here that you need to be saving up for, because you will be able to just go in, probably buy 15 cards, and they'll probably all make about their racks back, and then you will probably make extra racks, if not a little less than that, and then throughout the rest of the season playoffs, you'll make like double, triple what you bought them for, and it's just a great way to make racks. Now, for the people that stick through this video, I'm about to show you the ultimate method, because you guys are the real ones, and I probably should have showed this earlier. There's actually 2 methods, but we're going to be going over Stat lines, if you don't know it, they're challenges. This is kind of like where you predict stat lines. As you can see, you make a challenge. I could pick a player like here. You could do this for almost every sport, by the way. And you can just, I would say, if you think a guy's going to go off, just inflate their stats and then challenge someone. I challenge this Cam Cardinal guy because he's the first one that pops up, and we've been challenging each other for a long time. And basically, you can do that for almost any sport. If I go over here to this, my gosh, man, I get a lot of messages, by the way. You'll see here, Raxs, if you see yesterday, under that says I made 45 racks from card total place on DJ Giddens. If we go to, I don't know if I can show it that well, but I go back to challenges and I'll show it from yesterday. Go to college football, and I think DJ Giddens was down here. Yeah, I got 7th, right? But since I was the closest to his stats, and everyone was pretty far off, like he got pretty good stat game. I've predicted some of these pretty closely in the past. I have some, like MLB is a little easier but harder at the same time because there's so many games. What I would do for MLB is I would just, for pitchers, I would do the same stat line for all starting pitchers. I would predict the same one, and a lot of the time, at least one of them would get that stat line, and I would go for one that's kind of high because I want to get like a really high rating going undefeated on the stat lines, and that's a good way to make racks. But you can do this for every sport. For NFL, college football, you can do 30 each. That's 60 and back to back kind of. You can do this for NBA every day, NHL, college basketball, MLB, soccer. I don't know if they added it to soccer yet, but I'm not sure if they did. Let me check real quick more. They did not add it, but I also got to go over this for Real Pro members because some of you guys, just no offense, you're going to buy this crap and you don't even understand how it works, which kind of pisses me off. If we go over here, you see where it says draft your lineup. This works for Real Pro members. You can do this. This is a Real Pro feature, but if you own the team card of that team and you're a free member, you can still do the draft every day for that team in particular. And, it sucks that you can't do it anyways every day. But that's how they make their money on that because it is a free app at the end of the day just to check sports. But a lot of people like to collect cards and stuff on here. So that's kind of, the whole point besides, knowing, keeping up with your favorite team and stuff. If that's what I'm just trying to explain to you. And now, let's go to the last method. If you see that little calendar up in the right corner next to the trades, you got trades here. And then we have the calendar, right? A lot of this for you guys will be blank. You will not have a single one, you will not see any of these dates up here. You will not see a single card. And I really try to harp down and explain this to people. This is the greatest thing about the app. I will not lie. This is the easiest way to make racks. So basically, let me explain this. Devin Booker, right? He is a 1.2. If he had no card holder, if I didn't have any of his cards, right, to level him up, he would not show up here, right? There's plethoras, I think it's 1.4x is the max you can make is 1,000. And then you had to upgrade him to a 1.6x to get to the next level of how many racks you can make off him. So I got to upgrade some of my older cards just because there's some really big games that I will make racks off of. But if you don't have them at 1.2, the next year when you have the card, it will not show up. So basically, if you have a 2024 card and you give them to a 1.2, in 2025, all of their games from years past, that last season, will show up, and you'll be able to claim the racks they made from that day, as long as you haven't went over the limit. I think for 1.2 it's 500, and then for 1.4 it's 1,000, and then 1.6 I'm thinking it's about 2,000, maybe 1,800, 1,500. I'm not sure. I do know 2.5 is ridiculously high, so that's kind of a good thing because a lot of people can get a card at 2.5 if they've been making enough racks and stuff like that, opening enough packs. They can just hamper down, focus on one card, and spam trades for it, and then eventually they're able to get there, especially NBA. For me, I have Franz Wagner. I have a lot of Magic players, and I get spam Franz Wagner trades because people pull a lot of his cards and people just don't own his card or they don't care to collect him. And I have him almost at a 2x, and I've never tried trading for his card. Same thing with Anthony Black, Jalen Suggs. I'm a big Magic fan, so if you want to send me some Magic cards, make sure to do that. But as you can see, you can claim 2 cards per day for each sport, and there's some days where you will have 6 sports to claim from. Yeah, that's right. And eventually it probably gets to 7 as I add more sports and more card types to the app. And like when you're talking about claiming racks for like 14 players potentially, you're gonna make a lot of racks. Like, I mean, I'll show you the November 25th. I got Robinson, I think, playing that day, which is tomorrow. I get to claim 170 racks. As you can see, it's kind of faded right there. You'll click the claim button, and it's the racks they made that day times your multiplier. So if you can get last year, for NFL and college football, it's really easy to level up cards. They like made it a lot easier until you got to 2.5. It was really hard to get to 4x, but it was really easy to get to all the other ones. I ended up going and buying a lot of cards after the season and leveling them up to like certain levels so I can collect racks. Abu Sama, never have collected racks from him. I've actually made 0 racks and he cost me 200, but I leveled him up to a 1.2, so I'll be able to make about 500 racks off him, and that's still a 300 racks profit margin. But it helps more down the line because it's called like racks flow, if you want to call it something, and that's going to help me out. College basketball did the same thing with Jermaine Cousinard. This guy had like two 100 rack stays back to back in March Madness. Zach E is a guy I need to upgrade because he had a lot. I bet this is Mark Sears, by the way. Still playing this year. I made 58 racks off him. I bought him after the tournament and leveled him up to a 1.2. I'll get 500 racks off him. Hopefully I don't go through completely. I'll probably try to save a day of collecting racks until his biggest day in March Madness, so I won't get to that 500. I think you can go over the 500, but that's like your last time claiming racks. If it's like at 499, you claim like 100 racks, you can't go past it anymore. Like you'll get that 100 racks, but it'll be like 599, but you can't claim any more racks if it's at a 1.2. And then I may be wrong about the 1.2, but like, yeah, if you guys want to get my Luka cards from last year, I'm completely fine trading that, by the way. But yeah, this kind of the biggest method is this is just so good. I mean, just look at the amount of racks I can make off of my team cards, and that's why I'm trying to upgrade my team cards, really, because you can make so many racks. I mean, that's the biggest thing about buying team cards, is make sure you just buy like 5 to 8 players from that team, upgrade them all. It helps out so much. I won't even cap with you guys. That's kind of the method for on this day, and you can see, I think it's 14 days or 10 days in advance. There will be a lot of guys I can make a lot of racks off of. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. Peace.